Good morning from Kentucky Life with Debbie. This is Wednesday, July the 16th. The month is half over. My girl is an adult as we speak. And she's at work. So that's what adults are supposed to do, right? Listen, this morning, I don't know if it's meant for me to make a video this morning because someone is cramping my style. First of all, I'm ready to make a video. This is the day that my husband goes riding on Wednesdays, usually Monday, Wednesday, Friday. My girl has gone to work, and my husband has drunk his second cup of coffee, and he calls his brother to go riding, and his brother has a little appointment he has to take care of before they can go riding, so it's probably going to be later today, which then my girl could be home. So I thought, I've got to get this video out because, you know, after 12, I'm not much punkin' to do anything. So I decided that Max and me would just come to the basement and make the video. So I told my dear husband, I'm going to the basement to make a video. And he goes, and I said, you are cramping my style. And he said, I'm sorry. But we'll just see how this goes. Because look, I've had to bring all this stuff to the basement. I've got this little table sitting down here that was my dad's. It's just a little round table with two chairs he had in his little kitchen. I set my stuff down on it, and the table is not level. Now, do you know what it's like sitting at a table that's not level? So then I went and got a little chunk of paper to stick under the part that was wiggly. So then after I got it under there, then the other side started being unlevel. So I just laughed and thought, what the heck? And I just got the little paper out, and I'm just going to let it be wonky. Hopefully, it won't knock over my Diet Coke, but who knows? So let's just keep our fingers crossed and see if I can get all this valuable information out that I need to tell you. First of all, should I remind you to, at this very moment, press that thumbs up button if you've not done it. Because if you're like me, at 73, you forget within a 15 or 20 minute period. So if you'll just go ahead and push that little up, thumbs up. And then if you want to leave a comment, you can. If you don't, you just have to put a little heart. And I know you've watched and that you've enjoyed it. So let me just tell you what has been going on at this crazy place. Monday, you know, I had ordered my girl a birthday cake. So I had to go pick that up. Well, during the time that I had to go pick it up, it was storming here and there around the county, just sporadically places. When I got to the house to pick the cake up, it was pouring the rain. Plus, you know what an animal lover I am. And this lady that I ordered the cake from had this beautiful little doodle dog, Labradoodle, I guess. It was pretty big. Well, here it was pouring the rain, and I was driving down this narrow lane to get to her house, and I couldn't see anything for the rain, and then all of a sudden I heard a bark, and when I got to that house, I want you to know that dog was right in front of my vehicle. If I had run over him, I would have never gotten over it. And I said, thank you, Lord, for not letting me run over that little dog. Well, that woman said, oh, you couldn't run over him if you tried. And I thought, I bet I could, but I don't want to. So then here I am carrying the cake out to the car, and it's raining, and I'm trying to keep from dropping it. Get back in the car. That dog starts chasing me again. And I couldn't see it on either side. So it was in the front of my car. How dumb is that? Are those Labradoodles very smart? I drove about 5 miles an hour till I got way up the road because it chased me way up the road. But my girl loved her cake. And she got she stopped and got a 1 and an 8, and we put that on there, lit them, took her picture, and it was so cute. 18. Anyway, we have got cake out the wazoolie now, but it is very good, beautiful. It was white, that white buttercream icing with a light pink and gold kind of little decorations on it. Just beautiful. That lady does a wonderful job. She is Annie's Sweets and Treats or something. But anyway, she does a great job. Now, I don't even know where to start. First of all, I forgot Monday to tell you about church. And I'm going to update you when I've got enough sense to think about it. There were 13 at church Sunday. Well, one of my little friends that goes there, she loves the song, "Thank You, Lord, for Your Blessings on Me." I'm sure you've heard that song. You know, that you're just thankful to have a roof up above you and food to eat and shoes on my feet. Thank you, Lord, for your blessings on me. So she wanted me to sing it by myself. Well, see, I've not sang in church. I don't know. It's been a year or 2 or 3. I don't know, because I can't remember time, and it don't make any difference, does it? Just believe me, I haven't. Because if I'm singing in front of a big crowd anymore, I get a little nervous, which affects your throat, which my throat is not strong anyway, so I just don't sing. I have chosen to take a little time off. Maybe permanently, I don't know. So she said last Sunday, or Sunday before last, she wanted me to sing that song. And so I thought is what I would do is that I would find the words on the internet and print them out for everybody and take a copy. I made some copies and had each person there a copy of the words. Well, the little girl, not little girl, but this lady that usually leads the singing, you know, I told you she sings alto, but still, at least you can hear her, and she's got a good voice. She wasn't there Sunday. So then I had to nominate the superintendent who does everything. So he said he was really stepping out of his comfort zone. So he got up there, and I was playing the piano, and I said, I'm going to lead this song, but a place or two it gets too high. So I could actually hear a few people singing, and they really enjoyed it. And my little friend, after it was over, I said, did you enjoy that? And she said, yes. And said, we just need to practice that a few Sundays. So now somebody else requested that song, and I cannot find it because I don't know what the title is. It's something about sanctuary. And it's kind of one of those contemporary songs. If anybody knows the title of that, just throw it down there so I can look it up. And I'll try to figure it out on the piano, and we could learn to sing that. Because everybody likes, singing, I think, adds so much to the service. We had another good service. Our superintendent talked about Psalms 27. So if you want to look that up, he just read the chapter out loud and went through it, and we had a good little service again. But it seems like, we just kind of flip-flop between 12 to 14 people there. But that's okay, because, each one of us have been fed, and it's interesting because it's small, and I just feel close to those people. Still got some serious prayer requests. You all remember those. Still have got some serious prayer requests on this YouTube channel that people have told us. They've said it in the comments. If you've read the comments, one lady's daughter's got cancer. We're still remembering her. Still remember Patty's husband. He's doing so much better, and she's working and coloring Life with Patty. So let's still remember him. And there's just so many that are sick, and we just need to remember them. You don't have to know their names, because I'm remembering you guys every day, and I don't know the people that you're even talking about, but it doesn't matter. So that was about church. Now, I want to tell you, I have been thinking the last few days about the horses. You know, I had said July the 1st, if I don't hear something from that guy that was supposed to get in touch with me and has not. Now, see, Grandma Lois does not like liars, and I don't either. But I don't like people, I don't want to say that. I don't appreciate people that do not keep their word. Especially since we've got these cell phones. If you can't make it at the time you told me you would be here, I know you have got a phone glued to your hip or to your heart that you could send me a little text and say, sorry, I'm not going to be able to make it today. Or could I come at 5 o'clock instead of 3 o'clock? There's no excuse. Now, I know we've got a lot on our minds. And I might do this very same thing today, but I will definitely not intentionally do that, because if you tell somebody you're going to do something, you need to keep your word. This table's rocking because I touched it. You need to keep your word. It's so important. And this guy that I had talked to, earlier about the horses, I really felt good about him, and I trusted him. And when he told me over a week ago that he would get in touch with me like last weekend, I believed him. And he hasn't gotten in touch with me. But that's okay, because that's the Lord's way of telling me that maybe I need to move on to plan B. So I've got to thinking this last weekend too about plan B. And I thought, okay, maybe I could feed the horses for a while. As long as the weather's, good and I don't get down there and do something stupid. See that snake. If I see that snake, there ain't nobody going to have to worry about me feeding any horses, because I won't be around. Then they're going to have to get somebody else. And I've just really been praying. And I don't think it's a silly prayer, because we're supposed to pray our needs and ask, for things from the Lord. And I know that he hears us. And I'm praying that he will send the right person to buy Casper. Now, yesterday, I was up at my best friend's house for a little while, and we were talking about the horses. Well, she knew this lady. She called. She wasn't interested in the horses, but she knew another lady that might be. So I talked to that lady. That lady knew somebody else that might be interested in them. And amongst all that conversation, somehow it came out that we were wanting to give the horses away. Well, I hate to bust your bubble, but we do not plan on giving these horses away. So, and then I talked to somebody. It ended up, this one was telling this one, this one was telling this. I ended up talking to somebody in, I don't even know where it was. It was up toward Lexington, but I don't know. I can't remember where she even said she lived. She texted and said, so-and-so told me you had some horses. Well, I didn't even know who this so-and-so was. Anyway, a lot of time wasted. Not really wasted, but we've still got our little horses. And we'll feed them this afternoon. I don't know. It depends on if my girl gets home or not. But I'm just trusting that the right person is going to come along. You can't guarantee when you sell somebody something what's going to happen to it. But I'm praying that a good home will come for him, and it'll be somebody that loves him and enjoys him and rides him and gives him a good life. Meanwhile, we're going to probably end up taking this other one to be boarded at my girl's friend's house. But we'll see how that works out. Now, I know that you need to know all this information so that you can help me worry about it. But I'm not worried about it. I've kind of had a peace the last 2 weeks, and I thought, it's going to work out. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Now, that's doing me, I think, as well as it is you, because I'm saying that to myself every day. You know how we get all in a puff about something, that wonder if this happened or if this happens, and I am the world's worst. My girl and her friend went to Lexington, I told you, Sunday, which is over 2 hours away, down in town to eat at a restaurant. Jeff Ruby's. Granny Pat will know who that is. And I could have sat here and worried myself sick. Wonder if she pulls out in front of a car, wonder if a car pulls in front of her, wonder if this, wonder if that. I said, Lord, I'm not going to do that. I've prayed every day for a hedge of protection around her. And if I don't trust the Lord to do that, what good is it for me to pray that? So if you're worried about something, keep praying that the Lord will give you peace and let Him take care of it, because He is an almighty healer and He can do it. I've seen Him do it. So much for the horses. They're having a good time. They're down there at the barn just chilling. And if they want to go out and get them a fresh drink of water, they can. They're probably a lot better off than a lot of us are. Listen, every day, you know, my husband goes to bed between 7:30 and 8. Well, that's the time that Max decides that he needs to go lay. You know, you've seen him laying on that footstool when I'm doing the videos upstairs. Well, he lays there and looks out the window for boogers. Well, that leads out of our driveway, which is a long driveway, and there's some fields on each side of that where he can kind of see different things. And it's a pattern every day at a certain time, which is about the time my husband goes to bed, that there's some deer up there. And there's a little apple tree up there. I think they're eating apples. And they're not afraid of him. You know, they can hear him barking, but they know that they're safe because he's never been out to chase after them. It's every day you can mark it down. And I used to try to kind of get him to hush. But hey, guys, that's the only excitement that poor dog has all day. Other than that, he is just following me around, and you know I'm not exciting. Going to the laundry room, going to the kitchen, going to the couch to watch YouTube. Bless his heart. And he sits on that footstool, and he is watching like a hawk out that window to see if he can find a deer or a rabbit. Sometimes there's a rabbit out in the yard, and he'll bark it in, and he'll paw at that glass. Must be a pretty strong door, or he done had that broke out. Well, last night he had a little barking fit, as usual. And I'd say, hey, buddy, what's the problem? And I got up and looked out, and way out the driveway there was a cat. Sorry, Grandma Lois, but he does not like cats. Never been around one, but, you know, it's a moving animal. And it's in our space. And we are very protective of our space. Well, he kept watching that cat. He was way out the driveway. Well, right outside where he is laying on that footstool, there are 3 dogwood trees that we set years ago, and they're pretty big now. They're just right there outside the house. I want you to know that silly cat came up to that second tree. I'm moving this table. And was kind of sitting behind the tree, peeping around at Max. Well, he was just about to have a heart attack. He was barking so hard. And I went to the door, and I couldn't believe it. That cat didn't faze him. Well, I thought, oh, okay, this is his barking time. So I went back on the couch and sat down. Well, he just kept on and on. And I went back in there. That cat, and I've got a picture of it, but you know, I don't know how to put it on here. So you're just going to have to take my word for it. That cat was in front of the tree, facing Max, just sitting on its hind legs, with its back against that tree, just looking at him like, you idiot. I bet he sat there for 15 minutes. So I don't know who the idiot is, but anyway. Now, it's 20 minutes, and what have I told you? Oh, I've told you some important stuff. Never mind. Never mind. And there's my buddy. He heard me talking about him, so he's come back in here. Let me tell you this, and then I'm going to read you a funny story, and then I'm getting off here because I've had to hook up I forgot to tell you, I have to hook up a fan. It's so hot down here, I can't hardly breathe. So I went in there and got this fan that was on a stand and was blowing, letting one of the blades was hitting the fan, the outer part of it, going thump, 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 thump. And I thought, well, I'm sure y'all would like to hear that. So then I found another fan. So then I put it up, and I don't think you can hear it. It's just on low blowing on me so that, I don't work up a sweat. Do you know how we just don't laugh very often? Did you know that the internet, which does not lie, says that babies laugh 400 times a day and adults laugh 15 times a day? Now, just off the top of my head, I'm thinking that's because the babies don't know what's in store for the future. They're just innocent, trusting, laying there laughing when you're making faces at them. Us adults, we're wound up tighter than a jug. But anyway, my sister-in-law was watching these videos last night, and she said she was laughing so hard she couldn't hardly stand it, and then got to thinking about them this morning and was laughing again. So I think she's already had her laughs in for the day. But she said she was watching some videos of these women that was putting on these big long eyelashes. Now I watched one this morning, and the lady had on pink eyelashes, but now she said the one she watched, they were green and real long and had a lot of makeup on, just a lot more makeup than you normally would wear. And she's sitting in the car, and her husband or boyfriend gets in the car. She's got her head turned where he can't see her. And then she turns around, and the man is in shock. And then some of them just start laughing, getting down laughing. And the woman's trying to act real innocent, like, what? You don't like my makeup? If you get a chance, look those up. It will give you a little laugh if you need one, and we all need a little laugh. Hey, I have got this funny story, and I hope I haven't read this before. I don't think I have, but you know what? If I have, too bad. You're going to hear it again. Oh, but here was a little cute one. This is just a little short thing. It says, my wife called to tell me she saw a fox on the way to work. I asked her how she knew it was on its way to work. She hung up on me. Do you need to think about that? That kind of proves the point that we need to, the way we say things is very important. All right. This woman visits her husband in prison. Before leaving, she tells a correctional officer, you shouldn't make my husband work like that. He's exhausted. The officer laughs and says, are you kidding? He just eats and sleeps and stays in his cell. The wife replies, he just told me he's been digging a tunnel for months. Have I read that before? I hope not. Hey, I got to get off here because I've got things to do. And somebody asked me what it meant when I said, I've got some rat killing to do. That, I don't know where that expression came from. I do not know. But it just means kind of, I've got things to do. I've never killed a rat. I don't think I've ever seen a rat, but I would hope it would be a dead rat. Hey, I read this other little saying I want to tell you. It says, this is so true. Listen to this. You can miss it and still not want it back. You can miss it and still not want it back. Think about it. Oh, I found a new channel this week. I'm going to put it in the description that I want you to check this lady out. Now, she's a young cat. She's not 73 like me. Her channel is called Pam's, P-A-M apostrophe S, Pam's Stories for Humans. Such a sweet lady. Check her out and see what you think. We're trying to find some like-minded channels here. And now I want to tell you some channels that I really enjoy watching. Of course, you know the queen of YouTube is Lois Bayard-Rice. She's the one that got me started and has just encouraged and shouted me out over and over and over. So without her, I would probably have one subscriber, and it would be her. Chit Chat Granny Pat, Simply Debbie Sue, Tracy, who is Life in the Wild West, WYLDE, Senior Insights, Cynthia, Lord, you don't never know what she's going to come up with, Nona Grace, and she's got some new baby chickens, and they are the cutest little things. And then Emmy at the #1 Ladies Club. She's in England, and she's kind of changed her format. I watched a video this morning. Great. Watch it. You'll love it. She's kind of revamping her style, and she's got so much knowledge. Watch Imogene. And I like What's Up Boomer. You know, he had a viral video recently, and it's got all these subscribers. Old Me Living Better, Mike, I love watching him. He just don't put up enough videos, but he evidently has a life where some of us don't. And Rob the Maritimer, I love to watch him. So just check those out and see what you think. And I'm getting off here, and I'm going to talk to you hopefully Friday. If nothing happens, I'll see you Friday, if I can think of something to talk about. But, you know, I'm sending out vibes for people to tell me funny stories to share with you. So just hang in there. Hope you've liked it. Hope you will give me a little heart. Love you guys, and see you later. Bye.